Welcome to EconoChat, Let's Talk Business with Mr. Daniel Steinman. I am your hostess, Elsabe Tibinyani, and it has been a very messy year, I should say, personally for me. Fast, yeah, but also very messy for me.
I blinked twice and the year was gone. It was a messy year.
It was a messy
in
year.
many aspects. Yes.
Yeah. So we've dealt with a lot, but before we get into detail, welcome to you as well, Mr. Daniel Steinman.
Thank you, Elsabe.
It is also that time of the year where everybody is just checking out of the year, like they've done their part. They've had enough. But also when we look through or when we look what has happened this year, something very interesting happened in Namibia. We're talking about the elections. We're talking about, things that have, bills that have been passed. We're talking about legislation. We're talking about the cost of living crisis in Namibia.
Yes, and it's still with us.
It's still with us.
Yeah.
So, but just to get into detail, Mr. Daniel Steinman, can you just give us your view in regards to the elections, but also, in terms of the country's economy?
I don't want to talk about the elections.
No, that's why I'm saying in terms of the economy, because I know you're not going to go into detail with that.
It's very philosophical. They are concluded, but they are not concluded.
Yeah.
There's always this loose spanner in the works that something there might happen that we didn't expect.
Yep.
And I don't want to preempt that. I think it's dangerous, and
Yes.
also in terms of expectations. It's very obvious that SWAPO is the leading party, and you can go and split hairs. Do they have one seat more, one seat less? Who would have taken that seat from them?
Yeah.
If you take a look at the stalwart parties, the traditional white party, the Republican, and you look at the traditional Herero party, PDM or DTA that became PDM. I think the election has shown us that either they must reinvent themselves or they are irrelevant. And it's something that I have said 20 years ago already. I was often asked by foreign analysts, what is the medium-term, long-term political horizon? And then I would say, look, it's not rocket science. You just look at the demographics, and the majority of the people is Oshivambo. So you will only have a good opposition when the majority of the opposition is also Oshivambo speaking. And that's not picking sides or wishful thinking. It's normal analytics. It's the stuff that people in my profession do every day. You look at the facts on the table and you make a rational conclusion. And this is what we see happening now. It took 30 years to get there, but it's also a natural process. You must remember that the old guard, we were still divided according to apartheid rules and restrictions and divisions, and it was sort of molded into us. And now you are at the early parts of the second generation since independence, and they don't carry that baggage. They worry about where will my children go to school and what will I do, or what will my job be in 10 years from now. Will I advance in my career? Will my husband and I be able to afford our home? Can we buy a second car? That sort of thing. Will we have 3 kids or 4 kids? It's an entirely different ballgame. So it's very unbased to make forecasts and to make unsubstantiated forecasts. What I do want to say about the elections is that what I can clearly see is that we are entering a new phase. And again, this is not a 1 year or a 2 year phase. This is what we call a generational phase. It takes 15 to 20 years before you start noticing the difference, and you only notice the difference because you're looking back. You know, if you're looking into the future, what sort of filter are you going to use to define the future? From an economic perspective, I think that all future generations in Namibia will be better off than their parents and their grandparents. You know, and I'm not only referring to money, I'm referring to quality of life. And you know, whether you're a millionaire or where you and your husband just sort of earn enough to live comfortably, you will see the difference in your children already. And if you're blessed to grow to 70 or 80 years old, you will also see the difference in your grandchildren, and it will be more noticeable. But remember, put yourself now in their shoes. They don't have the luxury of hindsight. You, when you're old, you have it. And you can look back, and we call it wisdom.
Yes.
You know, but the young people don't want to listen to you.
They don't.
They want to go live their own life.
Well, on that note, let's quickly go for a short break, and once we come back, we will get into more details in regards to this interesting talk.